Welcome to WRINKLES Society of Hope. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support Wrinkles. Today, you are going to hear an amazing story from one of our Wrinkles women. And if you would like, please hit subscribe and share our Wrinkles channel. Hit that notification bell so you can hear about the new stories that come forward. And we are also on Apple Podcasts and we are on Spotify. So you can listen in if you're unable to view the YouTube channel. I'm so happy you're here and I hope I get an interview with you. Hey Wrinkles family, I am so excited. Happy May, by the way. And I have this woman that I met that blew me away from day one. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself to you all.
Hello, Wrinkles family. I love sprinkles, so was that a Freudian slip? Anyway, hi, my name is Dr. Keisha Tate, affectionately known as Dr. K. I am so grateful to share this space with Summer. She is absolutely a beautiful, radiant, and certainly somebody that you guys need to follow if you haven't started already. Hopefully you are. Anyway, I am a naturopathic medical physician who understands that we need multiple streams of income, that we need that we won't get rich or wealthy by working 9 to 5 anywhere, and that when our change is strange, it impacts our health. And so I have been called to serve the masses as it relates to health and wealth. And so my brand is the Doc of Health and Wealth. And when I graduated from medical school and I was, working in clinics, etc., I kept seeing a trend from patients who had, insomnia, for example, and of course, they wanted medications for that. But as I started listening to their issues, I discovered that there were some consistencies in every one of their stories. It was when I started asking them, when did that happen? When did you stop sleeping? When did you start only getting 4 hours of sleep? When did you start waking up in the middle of the night? It was consistent with when something happened, when I lost my job, when my significant other left or lost their job, when my income changed. And I just started paying attention to that. And I was like, God, how can I serve them outside of traditional medicine? Because these people need solutions. They don't need palliative care, in my opinion. Some of them, of course, need all of it. But for the ones that I'm talking about specifically, they need it more than just a prescription or understanding of go to sleep, turn your lights out. They needed something else. And so I started being open-minded to opportunities that will allow me to help people in an untraditional way. And so I don't work. You won't find me in the clinic anymore. I'm not a 9 to 5. Right before COVID happened, God really transitioned me out of the clinic. I wrote my first book, The Black Family Healthopedia. And since then, I have written a total of 3 and have just been helping people and serving people in a different way. Now, I didn't subscribe to this. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't know this was going to be my course when I started medical school. I thought I would be a traditional doctor, go to a clinic, work 9 to 5, actually 9 to 9 because of chart notes and all of that. But God said not so. I believe there's a remnant of people who need to be cared for outside of palliative care. And so I am an unorthodox doc, if you would. I love being able to see people, like patients, clients from the beach, from the airport, from the comfort of my beautiful resort, or wherever I may be, or even from the comfort of my home office. So that is who I am, I guess, in a nutshell.
Well, that shell is amazing. It's wrapped very tightly and very nicely. I love it. I love it. And as I see your beautiful face, that's probably why I don't see a wrinkle anywhere, because you've been so blessed to move into this world of helping people. How would you feel if you had a physical change?
I've had many physical changes. I don't even have a filter on here, so that's amazing. You don't see wrinkles. No, I see physical changes honestly every week. I'm like, oh shoot, that wasn't there. Oh shoot. Oh wow. So every week I see physical changes. My sister-in-law told me when I was about to turn 40, and she said, get ready. I'm just gonna warn you. Probably starting tomorrow, you're gonna wake up, get out of bed, and you may not be able to move. I don't know why, but it's gonna happen. And then the next week, something else may happen. And it honestly has kind of been going just like that. It is, it is a part of life. I thought on a couple occasions, should I do Botox on myself? Because I know I could fix this and fix this, but it's okay. It's a part of life, growing older, aging, but is my desire to age gracefully. And I believe that when we take care of ourselves, so no, I can't necessarily stop a wrinkle, but can I take some collagen supplements? Can I eat food, that has protein in it, and vitamin A and vitamin C and those things that causes collagen and some of the other cofactors to help me, age slowly versus quick, faster? Can I eat whole foods versus foods that are in a box? So those are the things. Can I stay hydrated? Can I drink, half of my body weight in ounces per day? So what can I do to minimize the aging effect or the wrinkles? And then just embrace them. So that's where I am in my life. I embrace them. I have not gone to any of my colleagues to get any Botox or anything yet. Let's see if my eyes are drooping by next year, then maybe I will consider it. But as of now, I'm okay. And I just turned 55 a week and a half ago. So it is what it is.
Well, happy birthday. Woo!
Thank you.
You look 55. Listen, I thought you were going to say you were my age, 45. So
yeah, you look fabulous.
Oh my goodness, you look amazing. And I hope everybody's listening in, because all those little nuggets that she was dropping, sounds like you might need to call Dr. K to get them nuggets so we can be healthier in our aging process. Because I know when I turned 40, yeah, my eyesight went, everything changed.
It changes. It does. But we can do some things to minimize that progression. Yeah, I think the problem is we're trying to do the same things that we did in our 20s, and it just don't work. We cannot continue to party all night, and then go to work the next morning. We cannot continue to not drink any water. We need the hydration. It helps with the elasticity, etc. So there's some things that we can incorporate into our lives so that we can, again, look like you, and turn back the hand of times.
For you as well. So, and we progress through life. We hit some wrinkles on the way as we're going through life. What is a wrinkle that you would like to share that you had to progress through?
Oh gosh, I could write a book about wrinkles. Yes. So many. I mean, from the loss of, my sister to breast cancer, from the loss of my brother. Just so many wrinkles. So let's see. If I had to think of a wrinkle, I'm sorry, there's just so many of them. I think one of the most challenging wrinkles was navigating divorce with two small children. And I started medical school as a married woman with two kids. And I my first year, I was going through divorce. So that was really a really big wrinkle in life. And it shifted everything that I knew about myself, about my family, about my well-being. It was an overwhelming time, is the best way to say it. Being 44 is when I started medical school, when I was called to start medical school. So it was, that by itself was no easy feat. And then my daughters were 5 and 8, actually 4.5 and 7.5 when I started medical school. And then to start the divorce proceedings and move out during my first year, I was like, God, you must be kidding. You got jokes up your sleeve. Like, what is this? Yeah, seriously. But he's faithful. We made it through. It was not easy. It was the most challenging time in my entire life. It tested my faith. It tested, who I thought I was as a person, as a mother. I was put to the test. I was stretched. But I learned so many things in that season about myself and people that were around me. But one of my biggest takeaways was that God is always present, and that when we fall, when we have a hiccup in life, when we have a setback, I liken it to the bow and the arrow. On that bow, it stretches back, and you think you can't go far. You're about to stretch all the way back. You're bending back. But in that bend, in that flex, in that brokenness, baby, that propel is going to supersede and take you further than you could ever do walking the regular course. And that is something, it was just one day, just in my sad state, I was like, what is the purpose of this? And when God gave me that analogy about that bow and that arrow, I saw it like crystal clear, like, oh my gosh, yes, I was bit. Yes, many people, we have been bit, broke and disgusted, or whatever they call it. Yes. But when we, again, that flex, when we're coming forward with that power and that velocity, it is life-changing. It is game over. It is when we can see that and recognize that bend, that flex, that brokenness is really, again, it is only a temporary thing, and it's not about us, that we're going to propel to the forefront. I don't know if I could say it's worth it, but I understand why I had to go through it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I had to overcome so many things so I could get to the masses, and during a lot of my painful seasons, I would often have open visions about, I could see a river, like a body of water that separated me. And on the other side, I just saw thousands and thousands of women. I couldn't see their faces because it was so many of them. And God was saying to me, I was like, why do I keep seeing the same thing? You have to go through a lot. But once you cross that body of water, once I depart that Red Sea, you got the keys to go and snatch them from the pit of hell. You got the keys to go snatch them to health. You have the keys, because we're doing a lot of things because we just don't know. Big Mama used to do it. Our mama used to do it. They used to fry with lard and grease and do perms in our hair. They just didn't know. Well, now we know. God is sending armies of people who love him, who are called to serve his people, and who are okay with doing that to serve the masses, and so that's what we are, and that's where I am. Seriously.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I love it. And I could see that, visualize. I used to love doing archery in high school. So I could feel those strings pulling back and how hard that is. And that's how it kind of is when you're going through those rough times, those wrinkles. It's so hard, it's heavy. It seems almost that you don't have enough strength to get through it, but the release is so fast and powerful.
Yes. And you propel past all of those other steps that you would have normally had to have walked through, and you're like, how did I get here, advance or in front? Is because you were stretched. The further back, the harder the fall, the bigger the wrinkle, the bigger the propel, the further distance that you are going to go, and be able to change the trajectory of people's lives. That is the key right there. We don't realize that what we're going through, we're changing lives. Once you cross over that river, that body of water, we're changing lives. Going through the things that you have been through, some of these other women with the wrinkles have been through, they're changing lives. But we got to get our own way to see that this is not about us, and to see that we have been called to serve the masses, to bring glory to his name. And so I'm crystal clear on that. I know it's not a church thing, but I am who I am, and I don't separate the two. That is another reason why I don't go into a clinic every day, because you can't bring religion into the clinic. And I'm a whole person. We're whole beings. And that's how God sees us. That's how he handles us. And that's how I treat patients and clients, as a whole person. And I cannot separate, I'm in the clinic, I can't say anything about God to you. Listen. That's who I am. That's who I'm called to serve, and I don't apologize for it anymore.
I'm glad, because I think that's the problem, is that we have to hide who we are holistically as a whole, a lot of times because we're worried about stepping on so many people's toes or doing things that are not politically correct, but we have so many now platforms that we can go out here and witness about the things that we've been through and how we get through and the strength that we have now from the things that we've been through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes.
What would you tell yourself looking back at that moment when it was like, oh my goodness, my first year, these two little babies? What advice would you give yourself now looking back after you have hit the bullseye on that, that after that archery has hit and the arrow has hit that bullseye now? What would you tell yourself looking back?
Just do it scared, do it. And, I love Nike's, little slogan. It's simple. Just do it. I wonder, I wish I could interview the president to see where that slogan came from, because I'm sure he was challenged in life as well. And we just got to do it. Do it scared, do it unknowing, not knowing all the facts. I'm one of those people in my past. I needed to know everything. It had to all be lined up, or I was not about to make a move. I had to know steps 1 through 25 before I could even move with one. That is just not realistic. That is not trust. That is not faith. That is me knowing and me doing, not him doing. And so just do it. That is one of the things I would tell myself. And enjoy the process. I didn't enjoy medical school. Every single year, there was something going on, from the first year to going through my divorce and separation. The second year, I was in a near fatal car accident, was told that I would never be able to walk again. I wouldn't be able to brush my teeth. And I had to have I was advised rather by at least 4 or 5 neurosurgeons that I had to have cervical fusion surgery. And if I didn't, I would be paralyzed. The third year, I can't remember. Every year, something happened. The 5th year, I ran out of financial aid. 6 months from graduating, less than $35,000 from graduating. I was literally about to be kicked out of school. Just one thing after another. But what I could say, I don't know, your question was something else, but God is faithful. So going back, I don't know if I answered the first question. Would I tell my old self or my younger self? One, again, do it scared. Just do it. And just enjoy it. I think oftentimes we work, we go to school, we're in marriages, we raise families, and we just do it. We just get a part of a routine and we just do it. We don't enjoy it. And so I am being very intentional about slowing down so that I can enjoy, because we don't get to repeat these things anymore. I can't go back to medical school and enjoy it. I can't get to raise my daughters at the young age that they were when I started the journey. I can't redo any of those things. And so I would say slow down and enjoy whatever your process is, whatever your wrinkle is, not like you're happy about it, but try to find some good, because there's some good in every single bad situation. We just got to look for it and be open to seeing it when it does appear.
I love that, because I definitely see that. I mean, it's almost like we're going through the motions in life. And I think we were speaking about this earlier before we got on camera, is that, we're just like, okay, I have to do it. So I just do it. I'm just going through it. Yeah, I'm Superwoman. I just got to keep going. And you're missing these pivotal moments in your lives, because and you look up and you're 45 and it's like, wait, what happened to my 30?
Or you're 55 and you're like, oh my gosh, we were talking about the lakes. I live around 7 or 8 lakes. I never, ever noticed those lakes until maybe about a year and a half ago when I started being intentional about slowing down. I never noticed all the ducks until I went to San Diego and I was during the time my aunt passed away, and I decided not to go to Michigan to her funeral. I decided to go to the water, to the ocean, because that's my therapy, my treatment. And I saw these ducks, and I won't get into that, but those same ducks, I'd never seen them in my community. I came back home. I see those ducks basically every single day, and they even come into my pool. So it is like, have they always been here and I just didn't see them? I've lived here for 7+ years. So how is that? So slowing down, seeing things, smelling the roses. When I go on my walk or my ride, I'm stopping, smelling. I go outside, I pick flowers almost every day. It's probably from yesterday, but I try to pick flowers every day. I try to smell them. What does it smell like today? Did this smell different than yesterday? I mean, people may think, who has time for that? I make time for it. There was a season in my life, no, I definitely didn't smell any roses, and that time has passed and I can't get it back. But today I'm very intentional about taking breaks, going outside, putting my feet in the grass, earthing, grounding. We're our bodies, we're all electricity, basically. And so I need to be charged. People think, oh, I need an energy drink. No, go take your shoes off, go get a patch of grass. That's what you need. That's a true charge that you need, not a fake charge that's going to last for a couple hours and then send you crashing and give you empty calories and no nutritional value. Go get a real charge. Go sit in the sun. Just be. Put your phone away. Let it be. People feel like, oh, I where's my phone? I can't. I'm like, depart from here. Like, it will be here. Nobody's going to bother your phone. Just go and be. Let the rays of the sun hit your face. Because again, on the medical side, I see and hear people in the hospital and they're like, I wish I had taken more time out for self. I wish I had sat in the sun. Is it possible you could take my hospital bed and usher me to like a platform so I could get some sun? They're wishing they could get some sun. So I'm just encouraging you, while you have an opportunity, even if you are carrying and or wearing a wrinkle, please go and get some sun. Allow yourself to get charged from the grass and just be. Go have take your blanket to the park and just be. You don't have to go with people. Just go with yourself. Go with a book. Go with no thoughts. Just be. We have to tap into those things. Oftentimes people say, I can't afford to do that. Well, I've been outside how many times a day? It didn't cost me anything besides opening and closing my door, 5 minutes or 10 minutes of my time each time. But other than that, it didn't cost me to allow the sun to hit my face, allow me to stretch, breathe in. We are in a bottle like this, the fight or flight. We're like this every day, most days. When I touch people, their backs are I'm like, have you been in a dog fight? I mean, like, what is wrong? Like, just, so imagine going throughout life year after year. And then when cancer or another disease, autoimmune condition, because those seem to be the two likely paths for especially Black women, autoimmune conditions and their cancer. Well, when you peel back the layers and you start having conversations about who are you, where have you been, what have you been doing, it is almost consistently, I can finish the sentence before I ask the question. I almost know what they're going to say because I've already talked to hundreds of people before then, and it's consistent. We don't take time for ourselves. We believe in self-care, not soul care. And there's a difference. People are doing self-care. Oh yeah, I went to get my toes done. Who cares? I mean, that's great, but you need soul care. Soul care doesn't cost anything. You don't have to leave your house to get soul care, to go make a bubble bath, to light some candles, to go pick some fresh flowers or grass or leaves, whatever you have access to go put your feet in some dirt or grass. That doesn't cost. That's soul care. Writing in your journal what you're grateful for at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. That's soul care. Self-care. Oh yeah, okay, great. I got my hair done. I got my eyebrows arched or eyelashes added. That's great. Self-care is important. Soul care is essential. And when we don't do soul care, that is when we end up in the doctor's office. That's when we end up in the emergency rooms. That's when we end up with chronic conditions, chronic stress, etc., etc., etc. We got to do soul care. That's what I'm pursuing. That's what I'm chasing. I've been intentional about this, putting myself on my calendar. I had never put myself on my calendar. Are you serious? Outside of a hair appointment or some kind of appointment like that. But Keisha time, I had never done that. I do that. I have Keisha time. I incorporate into my calendar just like I schedule everybody else's appointment, every patient. I schedule their appointment. I now schedule my appointment with myself so that I can be. And that has been a game changer for me. I'm a happier person. I am more patient with myself even because most women, we're so hard on ourselves. Oh, you look this way. You're too fat. You're too skinny. You're too light. You're too dark. I mean, like we give ourselves, we're our biggest critic. And so all that negative chatter, I'm like, just shut up. Like, it's not serving me. It's not serving others. Just shut up with it. That's one of the reasons why I embrace my wrinkles, because I don't give myself space to even have a dialogue about that. I'm still battling some other dialogues I have with myself, but that one about wrinkles, man, it's all good. I am so grateful to be here at 55. I could name 100 people without even thinking twice who wish they could have lived to their 55 years old, So no, it's time to, again, for soul care and to just embrace the moments that we have here. This side of it is just temporary. So let's not get too stressed out, too caught up in all of the stuff that is happening, but just get, your tribe, your family, yourself. That is what we need to focus on. So sorry. I don't know.
Oh, I'm taking that one. Soul care. I'm stealing it. I'm gonna tell you right now, Dr. K, that's my new thing. Because I'm the self-care queen, but I'm stealing that one. That's mine now too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't get t-shirts made because I'm working on it.
And listen, I was just about to ask what your t-shirt. I'm like, but is your t-shirt gonna say soul care? Because
yes, it is.
Get that printed.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's in production. Yes. Yeah, it is in production, because that is what I hear people say all the time when I ask somebody, how are you taking care of yourself? And they name stuff, that's the first thing they do. Yeah, I go get my hair done and I got a pedicure. I was like, no. What have you done for your soul? And they're like, what? My soul? I mean, like, that is a question that stumbles them every single time. I haven't heard anyone who says, like, just like that, who's able to fluently answer that. They often have to think about soul care. Like, what do you mean? Do you mean going to church? No, not at all. I didn't mention church. What have you done for your soul?
Wow. You woke up my soul when you said that. So it was like, oh, now you hear it. And the fact that you put it on your calendar, how often, like you said, my calendar is full of games for the kids.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure I do date night with my hubby. Like, all that is on there, but there is not a inch of nothing on there for summertime.
No, not at all. And we have to change that. We're pouring from empty cups. And when we are on the airplane, they tell us, if in the event of an emergency, put the oxygen on yourself first.
Yes.
And then you can help somebody else. But here we are every day running to serve the masses, running to put fires out, no matter what our jobs are, fireman, lawyer, mother, stay at home. What we're still serving, giving, doing. So again, most people are big on self-care. I'm big on soul care.
Yes.
Because I could do or not do self-care. I could not, in the wintertime, maybe I don't even get a pedicure. Maybe I do it myself. I don't know. That doesn't really matter to me. But soul care, when I start being intentional about soul care, my life has changed. Because then I have more clarity. I even started, and some of my friends, when they hear this, they're going to be shocked because outside of medical school, I didn't wake up early. But I started following this 20-20-20 rule. And it's most millionaires that I have interviewed and or read their autobiographies, they subscribe to this. They usually wake up at 4, 5 o'clock is early enough for me, but they do a 20-20-20 rule. 20 minutes when they first wake up. Guess what they do? They move. They jump in the pool, sometimes even bucket naked, I call it. They jump in a pool. They go do some cardio. They get moving. They just move. They do something moving. They don't touch a phone for at least an hour. Most of us, we sleep with the phone on our heads, on our chest, and we wonder why people got brain tumors. Okay, you want to check this? Want to know why people have breast cancer? People all day long sticking their phones there. Guys, prostate cancer, sticking their phones in their front pockets. Anyway, that's another podcast. Sorry, I easily derail. Okay, so let's see. What was I saying? Help me out.
No, you were talking about the 20-20-20 rule.
20-20-20 rule. So yeah, waking up at 5 a.m., 20 minutes, just moving, however you want to move. That stimulates, guess what? dopamine to be released, serotonin to be released, all the things that causes us to have clarity, creativity. In the morning, there's it's a solitude, such a quietness that you can hear your thoughts, God thoughts, maybe even some neighbors' thoughts, depending on how close you live with them. But it is just such a stillness in that time frame that it is just, you have to do it. And I'm not a morning person, but I've committed to doing this Monday through Friday. The other 20 minutes is, 20 minutes of moving, 20 minutes of meditation. So being very intentional about how you want your day to go. So that when something happens, like today, true story, I did my, 20, and I was like, yes, my day's going to go great. I'm going to have a peaceful day. I was very deliberate about what I was going to accomplish today, those kinds of things. Well, when I helped my daughter drop off her car to the dealership. And when we came home, I thought it was going to be one amount. Came home, it was over $3,000. I was like, well, I've already declared that this is going to be a peaceful day. I am not about to let anybody or anything steal my joy. And so the old Keisha would have been flipped out. I would have had, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? But I was like, okay, what needs to be done now? What can she wait? What do I need to pay for? So I handled it, but I know it was because I was so intentional, because I set the tone for my day. I already told myself how you're going to handle this day, and anything that comes with it, you are already focused. You're prepared for it because challenges are going to come. But in the past, I just, I don't want to say I just handled them however I needed to. But today, and since I've been doing the 20, I'm very intentional about that. Meditate, just getting centered, focused, oftentimes, especially Black women, we do too much. We're part of this auxiliary, this club, this Facebook group. I mean, like, what the heck? We do too much. What are you assigned to do? Who are you assigned to serve? Get clear. Crystal clear about that. So when you get the calls to do this and that, you can say, thank you so much for thinking about me, but it's not in alignment with what I'm called to do right now in this season. Maybe next season we could talk, but in this season, thank you. I have to, regretfully decline, whatever that may be. So meditation. And then the last 20 minutes is grow, read. So whether you want to read the Bible, whether you want to read an autobiography, whether you want to read a leadership or development book, every single millionaire, the first question I ask when I walk into a room and I have a privilege of talking to a millionaire, what books are you currently reading? If I don't know any other question, that is what I want to know. Even when I talk to regular people, because it tells me about the person. So if someone says, oh, I'm not reading nothing. Okay. I'm not, no judgment, but I may not want to be your friend right now because I am in a season of growth. And so I don't know, unless you read enough books and you just can live off that for the next couple of years, I don't know. But I need to be around people who are moving and shaking. That doesn't mean they're doing 100 things. That means that they are on the growth pattern and trajectory. That is what they're after. Leaders, they crave, and millionaires, they crave knowledge. They crave understanding. They crave wisdom. What I realize when I'm talking to people and they're like, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not in school. I don't need to read. I'm like, okay, you ain't my tribe. That is for sure, because where I'm trying to get, knowledge is found in books. They're found in books, and they have a saying. I've heard this many years ago. If you want to hide something, put it in a book. If you want to hide something from Black people, put it in a book. Because the perception is that we don't read, and we need to change that. And so that's the 2020. So I said a whole lot in between there. Let me make sure I clarify. So 20 minutes, you get up and you move, whether that's jumping in your pool, water, walking, getting your treadmill, standing in place, just moving, whatever, move. The next 20 minutes, meditate, get centered. If you do yoga, stretching, whatever that is for you, meditate. The last 20 minutes, grow, read, whether it's a book, Bible, or whatever kind of book you choose to read, but read, take notes. And then the other thing I started incorporating into my life that has been very impactful for me, I write down every day. You know, we have so many things on our to-do list, and rarely can we get them all done. 5 things. Today, I'm going to accomplish 5 things. I'm not putting 20 darn things on my calendar ever again in life. I am not overwhelming myself. I'm not stressing myself out with all these things. 5 things. That's it. I'm going to put them in the category of what I do. So, hey, for this, I'm going to do these 2 things, but that's one category for that. For my retreat, I'm going to do these 1 or 2 things. Each thing, a total of 5. That's it. Guess what? The day is still young for me, 7. I have accomplished 3 of those things, which is still a lot of things for me to do. I mean, that I've accomplished. But before, I would have 30 things on the list. It would stress me out, trying to figure out how could I do that, trying to stay up to 11 o'clock, midnight. We cannot serve from an exhaustion state of being, from an empty state of being, from an attitude, place of being. We can't serve. We can't serve ourselves. We can't serve our families. We can't serve the people that are attached to us. And that's what I've learned. So sorry. I go off on tangents.
You drop so many nuggets. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so excited. I can't sit still in my seat. I mean, that is amazing. And oh yeah, things are changing over here for me. Like I always tell people, Wrinkles is not just, yes, I do this for women and the platform of women, but Wrinkles bless me every time I meet with someone. And you are totally blessing me today. You really are. Tell me how you're blessing others in the community, how people can connect with you, because as all you see and hear, there's some nuggets that this woman is giving us, and there's more that she has. This is just a smidget of what she can do. So tell us what you do in the community, what things are coming up, and how these amazing Wrinkles women can connect with you.
Thank you so much. That's a great question. They can connect with me in many ways. Some of the things I have coming up, I'll get to that. But one of the things I created recently, I've always had a community of women, but specifically over the last year, I've created a community of women, of high impact women who are supported as they create their health and their wealth that they deserve and desire. Because oftentimes, again, when we go into certain places and certain rooms, we're not supported. So I have been called to serve. So I'm on a mission. My brand is the Doc of Health and Wealth. And so here we believe in balance, we believe in harmony and pursuing purpose. And I'm on a mission to empower, educate, and enlighten high impact women on their health journey so they can get the bag and keep the balance. So oftentimes we think, oh, no, I can't do all of it. Well, you're right, you can't. But let's focus on the things you're called to do. So let's get the bag, but let me show you how you can keep the balance. And how you keep the balance is by allowing me to serve you as a private health champion. I deal with clients out of state as well. So I am, again, an unorthodox doc. So if you're looking for somebody to push prescriptions and those kinds of things, don't dial my number because that's not what I offer. I offer real solutions. So that's what I do. So some of the things I have coming up are a women's retreat in beautiful San Diego. It's one of my favorite places at a beautiful 5-star resort, 44 luscious acres of water, bicycling, jet skiing, bonfires. So all of the workshops will be on the beach, outdoors. Last year in September, I go to San Diego. I go to California, 5 to 7 times a year. And I was in San Diego last September, and I was taking my daughters to the restroom. And one of the properties that we were staying at, I walked past their meeting room, and I could see the beach, the ocean, right from the meeting room. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it just dropped in my spirit, revival on the water. And I said to my friend that was with me, I was like, I'm going to do a retreat here next year, revival on the water. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be there. She was like, what a name. I said, I've never seen it, heard it before. It just dropped in my spirit. as soon as I like stepped back, because I saw it under my peripheral vision, the ocean, I was like, oh my gosh. But then I was like, you know what? I don't want to be in a meeting room. I want to be on the beach doing this retreat, because that is actually when I first graduated from, as I was ending my medical school journey, I was like, I'm going straight to California. I'm going to open up my practice in Malibu, right on the beach, because that is where healing true. I'm just going to pull back the sliders, let people put their feet in the sand and start the healing right there. Can you see that? Let's imagine it for a moment. Yes, I'm there. Oh my gosh, feeling the sand on your feet. Oh my gosh, hearing the ocean waves. And God said, okay, you can do that, but just not yet. I'm like, oh man. So so what I have been doing is just going there several times a year, of course, and now having retreats there, so that people can experience that for 2.5 days. Me and other women pouring into them on the health side of it and the wealth side of it. Because again, to me, you can't do both. God is about the whole being. That's why he told us there are many scriptures that support that. We will prosper. He wants us to prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. So that is a whole dimensional being. And so it's so hard for me. Again, we're taught in medical school, of course, to treat the health part of it, the whole part of it, the being, but God has had me to look at it from a different angle as well. And I didn't learn that, in school. I learned it directly through him. So I'm excited about that. And so just teaching people just how to live and how to thrive and how to have multiple streams of income. For my retreat, I used to have these retreats every year, and I've never earned commission on the travel piece of it. Recently, I had a girlfriend who asked me, hey, are you going to earn commission on your retreat? And I'm like, I'm going to earn not commission, but like money through sponsorships and different things, perhaps. And she was like, no, that's not the question. And so she introduced me to a platform that has really added to my streams of income, added to how I help people and serve people, and also added to my fun, because I'm high on the serving people, but I'm high on the fun, because why do one if you can't have the other? And it's really important that I refuse to do anything in this season of my life if I'm not having a high impact, high income, and high fun. That's how I roll. So how can you get in touch with me? I will share my links with you, but I'm on Instagram, Doc of Health and Wealth. I'm on Facebook, a group, Doc of Health and Wealth as well. That is my umbrella brand. But I'm on a mission really with get the bag and keep the balance for women. I have a supplement line coming out as well to really serve our people. There are a lot of there are a lot of supplements that don't have the best ingredients in them. And so I'm doing a number of things with sprays and gummies. I have a lot of women, high impact women that I work with that travel all over the world for their jobs. And so these just drop right in conveniently in their purses and their carry-ons, etc. So that will be launched by the time of the retreat as well. So if you are interested in going to the retreat, please reach out. You can, again, find me on Doc of Health and Wealth. You could find us on Be Well as well, Be Well Community, Be Well Magazine, I believe it is. But I'll have to send you somewhere a link and make sure that you post it for me, please.
Yes, I will. And as you see, those links are coming across right here.
Yes.
Let's stay connected. But also, how can we get your books? Because you mentioned 3 books now, because I think I met you, you had 1, right?
Yes. On my website. So the Black Woman's Healthopedia, written by me and about 5 other Black, beautiful, brilliant sister physicians who specialize in different types of medicine and care, for their patients, and they're all over the United States. So this is also on my website. The Black Family Healthopedia. This was our first book, written by me and 3 other Black physicians as well. Just talking about the health disparities that we deal with in our community, in the Black and Brown community, and how we can navigate them. You can't do it alone. I don't know if you guys recall the stories of Serena Williams. She had her baby, and she almost died from having a pulmonary embolism that the doctors were, what do you call it? Not taking heed, not listening to her when she said she was in pain. Judge Judy, I think it is, her daughter-in-law passed after childbirth. There's a long list of Black women who have passed as a result post-birth. The statistics say we are 146% more likely to die after delivering a baby than our counterparts, white counterparts. That is a startling statistic that should enrage, and make all of us upset about that. That is absolutely unnecessary, but it usually goes back to we're not heard. Our pain is, again, not taken very seriously for lots of reasons. And it doesn't matter the acronyms that are before your name or after your name. I can tell you all kinds of 6, 7, 8, 9 million high income earners who have had, who either died or if they didn't have an advocate with them, or who came close to death because their advocates had to lose it in order to be heard. And so don't go at it alone. Allow me to help you. Oftentimes I will get on the phone with the providers. I will, if patients are at the doctor's office, they'll put me on the speaker and they'll allow me to listen in. I can text them and let them know what questions to ask, but don't go in there alone. If I was somebody dealing with a condition, I would not do it alone. Yes, that's great. You have your doctor, but I would have a health champion like me on your side to make sure that the right questions are being asked. You would think that they would just disclose everything that's necessary and needed for you to know. However, if we accept insurance, the protocol is we have 15 minutes in totality to see return patients and 30 minutes for a complete new patient visit. That's from time you fill out your paperwork, you check in, you get your vitals done. Well, how can you ascertain anything about a patient? And most patients are on at least 10 to 15 medications now, on average. 10 is the average. So how can you learn about a patient in 30 minutes? Well, technically, by the time they get to you, it's not even 30 minutes anymore. And so we're dealing with unrealistic guidelines. And yet, so we're not practicing healthcare. We're not practicing healing. We're practicing sick care, and we're practicing palliative care, meaning, hey, your arm hurt. We're going to give you some medicine a couple times. If it keeps hurting, we're just going to advise you should cut it off. Well, I'm sorry, I want my arm. I mean, are any other choices? But that is what we're being told. I was having migraines right before I started medical school. And I had MRIs and all that. And I'm sorry, I know we were probably beyond your time, but I'll end with this story. So I went to a neurologist. And he said, I don't see anything on imaging. All your blood work looks great. He said, so what I think I want to do is exploratory surgery. And so I said, can you explain what you mean? Yeah, I just want to take a small needle scope and go inside of your brain and to look around. As he said that with a straight face. So if I was dumb enough, if I was listened to everything that the provider indicated or advised of me, I said, so what do you suppose you're going to see? If an MRI, which is one of the best cameras to see inside of a person, if it's not picked up with an MRI, I mean, what else could you see with your naked eyes that the camera can't see? But he was beyond serious. And I'm like, wow, imagine. It started making me think about, imagine all the things that people are told. People have called me at 20 years old. Hey, their mom usually have reached out to me. Hey, my daughter's doctor advised that she needs to have a hysterectomy. How old is she? 20. If you don't run away from that doctor ASAP. Have you had a second opinion? No, they said she needs to have it ASAP. Based on what? She's bleeding. Okay, that's great. Anything else? No, she's just bleeding. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, there are hundreds of those stories. I won't bore you with them, but the bottom line is don't face your health crisis. Don't face your wrinkle alone. Reach out to me. I am called to serve this community and people like you to get to real answers, real solutions, so that you could get to back to serving the group that you're supposed to be serving and doing the work that you're called to do.
Yes. Thank you so much. So much great information. Please reach out and get connected with Dr. K. Get the books, and get some knowledge, and instill the 20 in your life. And in that third 20 minutes, go ahead and start reading through the book. So
Yes.
then you know some things that you can reach out to Dr. K about, so we can get the education that we need. As a community, if we don't educate ourselves, we will never know. We will never know. And if we don't advocate for ourselves, then we'll continue on the same path.
That's the part right there. You need a health advocate, 100%. In this day and age, you need a health advocate.
Health advocate, for sure. Look, this is my story. I've said it before. If I didn't continue to go to that doctor and say, hey, something's wrong, or you know what, the other doctor that kept ignoring my symptoms from bleeding, and found later, because I had this, that another Black doctor said, let's go ahead and scan your uterus too, and found 15 large fibroids, 10 years later.
Wow. So you understand what I'm talking about personally.
Yeah. Was in pain for years. Didn't understand. One doctor said, I'll just put IUD in you. That'll help. And I still was in pain, and nothing's wrong. You're fine. And because of me having breast cancer, and another doctor saying, you know what, they need to scan your uterus too.
Absolutely. They need to scan your uterus. I'm surprised they didn't even do a whole PET scan.
Did not. But guess what? Now, as soon as they removed my uterus, I had no pain.
Of course not.
Even 30 minutes after surgery, I got up with no pain.
Wow.
So
10 years later, but you had to fight. You had to continue to be persistent.
And that's the thing, being persistent, but also connecting with people who are for you, like Dr. K.
That's right. I am absolutely for you because I am you, and I think this is a very unique position that God has placed me in, being Black. I am a woman, and he's allowed me, graced me to go to medical school at 44 and graduated from medical school at 49 years old. And so I'm not only walking the walk, I am you, I am you. And I just have, a little bit of knowledge, not all the knowledge, not all the knowledge, but certainly can ask the right questions of the right people if I don't have the answers. So together we can certainly do more, for sure, so that you're not out there on your own trying to navigate all of this, the system. The stress, don't do it to yourself.
Don't do it to yourself. And make sure you take care of that soul care.
That's right. Yeah, self-care is good, but soul care is required.
Listen, it's life-changing, it sounds like.
It is, honestly. It really is. It really is.
Oh, my soul care is about to start. So I'm talking to you, Dr. K, about this soul change that I had because you done brought up soul care. So
I love it. Let's do it. I'm here for it. I support you. And your soul is going to be so happy. Your family's going to notice a difference. Your husband, your children, because you're going to be happy within because you are taking care of your soul. Nobody who's taking care of their soul.
Exactly. We got to have you come back. I am so happy that you came to the WRINKLES family, and we're just going to be just transparent. We had a whole issue today that never happened before. Like, we had to start re-recording, and that's when we know that this was going to be powerful for you all, and it's going to be a life-changing interview. And I thank God that we connected today, because this is going to be life-changing for everyone who is viewing and listening in on this interview, because Dr. K, you came with it today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to share space with you. I don't take it for granted. And hopefully something we said to the Wrinkles community was impactful. And just, we set many nuggets. Just chew on two of them. Chew on three of them. Incorporate one a week, one a month. Just do something. Don't allow this information to fall on deaf ears. That is my constant prayer. God, when I speak, I want you to be heard through me, and I want lives to be changed. That's what I'm in prayer about. That's what I'm up at 5 a.m. about. That is what I'm meditating, for you on your behalf. I don't know you. I don't see your face, but I know your spirit because I carry you in my heart.
Yes, indeed. Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're going to come back another time together, but I thank you so much. Bye, Wrinkles.
Bye, Wrinkles. Thanks for having me.